Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 2019. We are here at the opening day of 2020 with a roster that I think there's a little more excitement about than previous years. I've already showed the roster in full, but you can get another quick look here. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna come back at the end of April and recheck out the team and see how everything is looking and give an update. Hopefully, a report back. Hopefully, we have a good report back, and yeah, we'll get to that. Okay, so we're back here at the end of April, and it's been an interesting first month to say the least. Our bats have really just not been there. Um, you can see here, Manny's been good, not great. Justin Williams has actually been pretty solid. Ryder Jones has not played much. I just kind of put him in the lineup. Posey's been below average. Mitch has been so-so. Chris Shaw, and then it gets bad. Chris Taylor, Will Smith, I just put in the lineup at catcher. Rangel has been really bad so far. Adames was absolutely atrocious. I don't know what happened to him. And then Polar has not gotten much playing time, and neither has Castillo. Pitching's been pretty good. Kershaw got hurt, which was unfortunate, but not for too long. It's out 4 weeks. We're doing better in general. We are 14-10 and 1.5 games back behind the Dodgers. And this team definitely has a different feel to it. It's just better. Brad Hand has moved from the setup man all the way down here. We did do one small trade. We got rid of, I guess I don't know how to really see this. But we traded Tony Watson for a AAA pitcher, Jeffrey Rodriguez, who is playing pretty well in the minors. So he might get a shot at the MLB. I know Tony Watson was never going to play for us, and it saved us about $1 million instead of cutting him. So figured to be our best option. Yeah, I don't think there's a ton more to look into. The season, I think our bats just need to get going a little bit. Maybe the addition of Ryder Jones to the lineup will spark plug that, and the addition of Will Smith against lefties will put a little spark into the team. Because our starters ERA is first, runs against we're tied for first, but we are 10th in runs scored. It's pretty obvious what the problem is. Maybe we can get back on track against a pretty weak team here in San Diego. But anyway, I will get back to you guys at the end of May. And yeah, see you guys then. Okay, back here at um, the end of May, beginning of June, day before the first player draft and first year player draft. And this team is one of the most frustrating I've had to deal with. Um, First of all, we can't seem to get out of our own way. Our record in one-run games is 6-15, which is hilariously bad. Extra inning games is 2-7, and usually that's dependent on a bad bullpen, but we don't even have a bad bullpen. We have the third best bullpen in the NL. We can't score runs, so a lot of these games you'll go back, you'll see 3-3-2-0-4. I mean, a couple. We've actually been batting better as of late. Well, as of very late, not so much, but yeah, it's just really frustrating. Guys that have underperformed are Chris Taylor. He's been really bad. Chris Shaw has come back down to earth after a really good season the year previous. Mitch Haniger has, although he's actually been decent, especially in the field, he's been not super great with the bat. Ryder Jones has struggled since being put into the starting role. Juan Rangel has been really bad, which was really unfortunate, or has been really unfortunate. Justin Williams has been solid. We like what he's been giving us, and Manny's actually been really good. But other than that, it's been rough sailing. Willie Adames has still been troubling pitching wise. I mean, it's just going really well. Clayton Kershaw, Shane Bieber is probably a Cy Young candidate at the rate he's going. Although he's been lucky, he's still just absolutely murdering batters. And then Kershaw's been Clayton Kershaw, Chris Stratton backing up his name, coming off of the two good seasons. He's having a season better than both of those. Our bullpen's been solid, pretty much what we expected. It's just I don't. The lineup is just terrible, and it's getting to the point where we might have to make some moves before the trade deadline, even so that this season doesn't get too far away from us. And we actually win a one-run game here. How about that? Good to see. And of course, the guy to do it, the pinch hitter Willie Adames with the pinch hit solo jack. Yep, it's pretty much the story. 3-2 wins. Figuring it out. So we're here at the first player draft. We still do have this fourth pick nuisance, but it's a really good draft. It looks like. Filter. It's a really good draft. Holy crap. Um, so the question is what to do with the fourth pick. This Mac Horvath guy usually ends up being pretty good, but the question is, I think what we're gonna do is draft a slot guy and then just trade him away to the team that should have been here for nothing. That way, I think that's the most fair way to do it, or even go in commissioner mode and just edit him. We'll be taking, or actually, yeah, we could trade him for like the $2 million cash, and then, yeah, that would probably work out. So I'll draft Josh Judge, or I'll do whatever the scouting deck for recommends. Yeah, I'm sorry about this little mix-up. I don't really think it was my fault, but I'm willing to take responsibility. Okay, so we're here at our pick, and Dorian Thompson shoots out at me. That's a guy. Avoids Ks, has really good gap power. I mean, I don't love his ratings, but he's a 5-star prospect for a reason. This guy's very balanced, Jimmy Glowenke. But he's already pretty good. 35, 40, 35, 45, 40. Those are already like double A numbers. Well, he just doesn't have to go very far, yeah. Josh Judge, Jesus, those are really good ratings. I don't know. This is going to be difficult. This is a tough pick for sure. Okay, so we're back. Not entirely sure where I left off because my laptop died and I had complications getting a charger, but anyway, we are back here and I still obviously like the Dorian Thompson pick, although his ratings don't exactly fall in line with what I like. Josh Judge makes a ton of sense. Michael Brooks makes some sense. It's got to be Thompson, Glonky, or Judge. And Judge is a little short, which always worries me, but he is a ground ball pitcher with really good stuff. He has a long way to develop that changeup, which is always worrisome. I think. And although his movement's there, he just has a lot to develop. Glowenke does not have much to develop. That guy's already pretty good and probably will be really good. His defensive ratings are really, really good, so I would think these are going to get better with time. Yeah, I like Jimmy Glowenke. Dorian Thompson is the home run pick, but he could obviously fall apart. We're gonna take the save. What is our scouting director recommendation? He wants us to go Judge, the starting pitcher from Utah, which makes a lot of sense. He has all the ratings in the world that you could want, and he is the home run pick. Glowenke's like a consistent, he's going to be there, middle infielder, which is so rare. I'm going to take. Because Glowenke might be there next round, too. We don't have a supplemental pick, so. I don't know. What does the OSA think of these guys? This is one of our toughest picks we've had. So the OSA kind of likes Glowenke. I don't know why I did that and not just this. The OSA doesn't really like Judge, but Judge could really come back to bite us. I mean, Judge could end up being a very dominant pitcher for a long time. I really do like his ratings. So after some debating, we have decided to go with the starting pitcher, Josh Judge from Salt Lake City, Utah. I think starting pitching is most important in this game, and Josh Judge has those ratings that just shoot out to you. He's just 18 years old, so he's going to take a while, but the potential is just there. So Josh Judge it is. Glowenke goes next pick. That could come back and hurt us. Moving on here, though. Jake Bauers. That guy looks... Oof, oof. Okay, Jake Bauers is definitely a good prospect. Nope, get Ben Reben out of here. I don't love McInnes's ratings. Tanner Allen, he's got some good ratings, and he can play the outfield. But Jake Bauers, with the 70 contact potential, is what kind of shoots out to you. Enrique Bradfield, he is a real person, as many of these guys probably are. We're going to go Jake Bauers here. Really like his ratings. Nate Cake. I like Nate Cake's ratings a good bit. He's only 17, but definitely worth a look. He's definitely not going to start. But I do not mind Gilbert Maldonado. But I doubt we're going to be able to get him. Michael Limoncelli. He's got pretty good ratings, pretty good fielder in the middle infield. By the way the rest of this draft has gone, ooh, Bobby Martin. There's no way that changeup develops. There's no way, right? Jake Reeves. Ooh, Jake Reeves. But even if he doesn't develop this slider, oh, we're getting away from Jake Reeves. Not getting a pitcher that can't throw 90 miles an hour. Dan Bell. Those are pretty good ratings. I really like this draft. Yeah, I'm shading away from him. He throws really fast. Thing is, even if that doesn't develop, he probably is gonna need that developed to be a bullpen piece. Bobby Martin, he's only 18 though. I like Dan Ball. We're gonna go Dan Ball here. Our round 5 pick. Ribbon, that guy's just not gonna develop. Jake Reeves, he looks pretty good, but he is an impossible sign. Dan Batty. Dan Batty looks like a pretty good get. Jacob Gonzalez. I don't know why this guy's rated highly. Sam Hall, same thing. Dan Batty seems like he's got at least a little bit of potential. Looks like he could be something. Drafting a lot of middle infielders this draft, which isn't a bad thing. Middle infielders are hard to come by, and they usually ask for a lot of money in free agency. So if we can have some guys ready to come up, it's definitely not a bad thing. Ooh, I like Dan Strouff a little bit. I think he's almost a surefire reliever option. If that fastball and curveball end up progressing enough, then he'll have two good pitches, and if the control develops enough. But he also has a chance to be. Ooh, he's 22 though. He's not freshly 22. Honestly, another middle infielder in Jason Swan might not be a terrible option. Rob Adams, Max Alba. These guys don't really seem like great picks. Juan Otero, dude throws 5 pitches. I'm taking Juan Otero just for the fact that he throws 5 freaking pitches. Let's look at. I feel like I kind of have to take Maldonado at this point. The thing is, I know he's not gonna sign. It's just a wasted pick. Let's go to draft batters. And let's look at their batting potentials. So, see, look at this guy's freaking. Oh my goodness. Billy Hartzell, 18-year-old with just absolutely absurd batting ratings. It looks like he might not have a position, but I honestly, I don't know if I could care any less. This guy looks like a absolute monster. Yeah, get Billy Hartzell on this team. Glassmeyer looks like a pretty good prospect in his own right. A left-handed hitting first baseman. Doesn't really have a ton of power right now. He only hit 5 home runs and 101 at-bats, which isn't terrible, but looks to be more of a doubles hitter. I think we're going to go Hartzell, though. That guy looks like he could tear a cover off a ball. Now we'll go Glassmeyer. Oh, he's impossible sign? Okay. Do we have any Phil Mobley? 65 home run power. If he can actually reach that, then he is a steal at this point in the draft. Let's go. Any pitchers that shoot out to us as batterish? Jaden Neris. He doesn't look great. Doesn't look good enough to play either. Can clear that filter. Let's actually look at pitching potential. At this point, I usually like to look at velocity because most of these guys don't have the velocity except Josef Rimer. High intelligence, no movement, but the dude throws in 101 miles an hour. Yeah, we're drafting that guy solely based on how fast he throws the ball. Jesus. And then I like to look for the velocity plus the movement. So, and then at least a little bit of potential. So Dan Ross will be out. Although Dan Ross is a starter. Oh, he doesn't have actually a changeup. Okay. But yeah, a guy like Raheem Munlin looks pretty good. Throws 96. Pretty balanced ratings. Throws that cutter pretty effectively. I think he could be decent. This will be our last pick. We'll auto-complete the draft. So, obviously the big pick of this draft was the Josh Judge pick. Josh Judge looks like he could be. Josh Judge seems like he could be one of our best players, but obviously Mike Estrada is the most interesting piece. I think what we're gonna do is just trade him or release him and just let a team pick him up. Again, like I said, I shouldn't have that pick. I'll try and literally just trade him for the 2.5 million that he's owed, and that way everything's even. But then we'll see. Oh wow, we actually picked Jeremy Blick. This guy does have pretty good ratings. I wonder what he's asking for. Significantly above 3.2 million. That's not out of this realm, out of the realm of possibility, but probably something I'm gonna avoid. Why did our scout draft so many guys that are impossible? We're not gonna sign any of them. Anyway, we're going to continue with the season and meet back probably at the international free agent signing deadline as we usually do. Hopefully this team can stop losing one-run games and we can kind of correct our errors a bit. I think the team's going to start to come together. At least I hope so. Again, just the bats have just been such a problem. It's going to be an eventful deadline, I think. I think we're going to go out and we're really going to try and shore up the first base spot, shore up, shortstop, maybe even make Taylor a utility guy, shore up center field, maybe make Mitch a backup outfielder. Maybe not all of those things, but definitely a few of them. Anyway, I will see you guys then. Okay, so we're back at the international free agent signing deadline, and we have seemed to figure things out a bit here. This was definitely a really good month for us. When it comes to major news, we fired our hitting coach. I figured enough was enough. We have gone up 2 places in runs scored since we did that. But let's see who we signed. We signed Bill Mueller, who is a power hitting focus catcher, which I don't love, but we are 12-5 since we hired him. He has a really good connection with Juan Rangel, who was obviously struggling. But I think a big reason why he was struggling was his BABIP is a atrocious 188, which is just unlucky at that point. If you have a 188 average on balls hit in play, that's just he has a higher average than he does BABIP, which is uncommon and just frankly absurd. He has 20 home runs. Chances are he figures that out. I think that's pretty safe to say. Injuries have bit us a little bit. We lost Hangier for pretty much this month. We lost Sandro Cabrera for the year and probably a little more. We lost Hand for about 2 weeks. And that's pretty much it. Gillorn should be back in about 2 weeks. Speaking on Rangel, he did start to figure out at the plate. He won rookie batter of the month, which was good to see. Pilar's finally getting some playing time, which he is taking advantage of last time I checked. Yeah, he's been pretty good in some limited time. Pitching-wise, it's been more of the same, just pretty dominant pitching. Mitchell White um, filled in for Sandro Cabrera and has been better than Sandro Cabrera. And Givens filled in for Hand. Looking at the actual schedule, you can see things just started to kind of go our way. We have a 1-run win, a 2-run win, a 3-run win, a 1-run, 3, a 1-run. This was I was hoping this was kind of a turning point for our offense. We kind of went off a bit. Rangel had a pretty dominant day with 2 home runs and another hit added on. Obviously, Bieber did his thing, but overall, just a really solid game. We did give up 10 hits, but apparently no big ones. And then continuing on, we got 2 1-run wins in back-to-back, and we're trying to finish off the sweep against Chicago here. 3 1-run wins in a row. So things are definitely turning back in our favor a bit, which is ideal. We're now 12 games above 500. I believe we're 4 or 3 games above the second wild card. Yeah. So this was definitely a productive month. Now we're at international free agent signing, and I haven't looked here yet. We're looking at a guy, Juan Cedillo. Just gonna toss 5 million his way. Actually, we should probably look first before we just start throwing money around. Yeah, I don't honestly. This guy's ratings look pretty good. Alfredo Estrella, but 75 contact and 75 power ratings. That is hard to beat. So we're gonna give him this deal straight up. Get Juan Cedillo to add to our already pretty strong minor league system, which I'm going to go over the minor league report at the All-Star break, the same as I did last year. I thought I was going to check out until the All-Star break, but interestingly enough, we we have another one-run win. So we swept Chicago on solely one-run wins, which feels really good considering how we have been this season. Let's see if we go to team info. Yeah, one-run games. We're 13 and 18, so we were pretty pathetic 9 and 18 before this series. I think that's pretty funny. Let's look at this game real quick. My guess is Kershaw just had his way with the Chicago lineup, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. Kershaw 9 innings, 0 earned. Pretty dominant stuff from the Hall of Famer, the future Hall of Famer, I should say. And we can look at the midseason review of goals here. So pretty happy about the team record. Haven't improved stolen bases, which I don't really plan to do. I guess Trevor Hildenberg's the team leader. We did add a lot of players, so. Yeah, we're not increasing profits. That is for sure. Improve our draft record. We draft a lot of young guys, so I don't really see that happening. We're re-signing this guy immediately. Our pitching has been far too good to let that guy go. And our bench coach, yeah, well, I don't know. It's poor. Whatever. Just re-sign him for 1 year. I don't really feel like. I mean, if there's a really good bench coach that I want, then I will sign him, but I don't feel the need to go out of my way. So. Alright, so now I will likely cut out until the All-Star break, and we will go over the All-Star teams and do a minor league report, and then we can get into the trade deadline, which should be a pretty eventful trade deadline. We are finally buyers at the deadline, which is always exciting, or at least I assume we're going to be buyers. I shouldn't jinx anything. Okay, we're back here at the All-Star break. The success kind of continued. We had a couple little hiccups, but pretty much just rode out this win streak, and guys are starting to come back from injury, and we don't really even know what to do. Suarez has been too good to really take him out, but Gillhorn's coming back, so I kind of have to. Brad Hand is coming back, but he's been bad. Hangier's coming back, but I didn't really know what to do with him because, well, he was really bad when we had him in, so. I don't know, it's a bunch of moving parts, and also Pilar's been really good and really good in the field. So it's a bunch of moving parts. Not quite sure what to do quite yet, but I think we'll figure it out. Having too much depth is not a bad thing. But let's get into these all-star rosters, and we can see if we have anyone. First, check out the AL. No real shocking names in the AL. Jorge Polanco is a little shocking. The pretty standard AL All-Star team. Yadier Alvarez leads off the list for us. Wow, what a year he's had. The former Dodger that we got in a trade with Mitchell White, where we gave up Brandon Belt, Will Smith, and Rob Calabrese for this man. He has been
really good this season. One of the best pitchers in baseball. He is followed by another San Francisco Giant pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, who is having his own dominant season. On pace for a 6-win season, pretty much doing what he did last year. An absurd K rate. Just, classic Clayton Kershaw. Hopefully, will be around for the playoffs. I'm not going to lie, if we're in a position where he might be shut down to finish the season because we might not be able to really move our spot when the end of the season comes. So Chris Stratton also making his first All-Star appearance, having a better year than I thought he could. I thought a 4-win season was pretty much his max, but he's already at 3 wins this year and on pace for 5. He's been lights out. Batanzas and Julian Fernandez both make it, and Taiki, uh, three three relievers making it for the team, and one of them we didn't even sign this offseason. Buster Posey making it in somehow. He's been pretty bad. I might shop him around this deadline, although he does have his 10-5 rights and he's on a winning team, so doubt he'll want to be moved. Manny Machado gets in this year, one of the notable snubs of last season. And that's it. Juan Rangel misses out. I don't really think it's due to fault of his own. That BABIP is just unfairly low for him. But anyway, those are our all-stars. How many is that? 1, 2, 3 starters, 3 bullpen guys, and two batters. So that's 8 total all-stars. And now we're gonna do our minor league report. A lot of minor leaguers we're paying attention to now. Okay, looking at the first one, Juan Cedillo obviously has not played yet. Dan Ball has come in. Looks like he's where he should be. That's not a bad thing to see at 18 years old. Dan Batty, definitely a little overmatched in rookie ball, but should hopefully get it together. Jake Bowers, good to see Jake Bowers already playing pretty well in rookie ball. Not well enough to move him up, but definitely solid. Nate Cake has struggled mightily in rookie ball. All these guys are 18. Most of our draft picks this year were 18. Billy Hartzell, our 7th-round pick, who I love these ratings for, actually has done better as a pitcher, which is an interesting development. He does have pretty decent pitching ratings, but I plan to keep him as a batter. I'm too in love with these ratings, so see what he does. Josh Judge, the 16th overall pick, our big name prospect coming in, has definitely struggled to start his career, but hopefully he can figure that out because we can't really move him. Seth Corey has looked really good. Definitely like what we've seen from him at 21 years old. How did we get Seth Corey again? I totally forget. Oh, he was drafted before we were here. But yeah, he's gonna get moved up. I think in high A. I'm not quite ready to move him to double A. So Cesar Idrogo, the lottery ticket we got in the Cleveland trade. If he's bad, it's not that big of a deal. Bieber is more than made up for that trade, and I'm ready to give up on Idrogo. Elliot Ramos, doing what he does best, tearing the cover off the ball. .8 WAR. That's good enough for me. He's looking pretty good. I'm kind of curious how his fielding's been. About average in the corners. He can't play center quite yet, so. But yeah, let's move him to high A as well. Landon Sims, the pitcher turned batter, might turn back to pitcher. I don't know. He was such an interesting piece. I felt like we had to get him. It was in the 7th round. But he should be still definitely in low A. He's only 19, so it's not that big of a deal. Steven Restuccio, struggling in A ball so far. Curtis Byrne in high A, our third round pick last year, was also our first pick. Really been playing well, or I shouldn't say really playing well, but maybe he's doing well as a fielder because the batting doesn't look there, but he has a pretty good. Yeah, he's playing really well as a batter right now. Or as a fielder, which is good to see, but we're gonna leave him in high A for now. Ethan Hankins still struggling, not quite what you want to see out of the former second overall pick. But sometimes these guys just need a boost, and I'm considering just throwing him into the fire a bit. He's only 20, so I'm probably just gonna keep him there. Connor Nurse, the guy who was already on the team to start the year, the switch player, not playing well per se. Our second round pick in our first year, Oraj Anu, struggling in Double A. Chase Cheney, same thing for him. It's not been a great minor league report. Marco Luciano, the international free agent signing deadline, our first season on the job, playing decently. Definitely where he should be, which is saying a lot because he's 18 years old. He should not be in Double A right now. So if he's handling himself in Double A, then that's a good sign. Tanner Hawk, he playing decently. He's 24 years old. He's got to start to figure it out. Connor Pinklington is only 22. I'm comfortable with him taking his time, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's definitely struggled a bit, but probably where he should be. Jake Thompson, playing all right. No, nothing great there. And that does it for the minor league report. So we are going to continue on here. Probably we'll see you. I'll probably come back in around the trade deadline, and we should be looking to have a pretty eventful trade deadline. I'm pretty excited for it. I think we're in a position where, well, I'll get to it when we're around the trade deadline, and I might have some trades lined up. So yeah, I will see you guys there. Back at the trade deadline, things have been moving pretty swimmingly. Only 2 losses since the All-Star break. We are 4-2, and we have 2 trades, both blockbuster deals, I would say. We are vastly improving this team, but at the expense of our farm system. And here's the first one. We are getting Yoan Moncada, who, although maybe not in real life quite this type of player, but he is an absolute superstar. He has been for the last couple years. This year is even more so of a breakout season. He is absolutely tearing the cover off the ball all year. This guy can go anywhere in a lineup. He's an MVP. He's in the MVP discussion right now. We have a hole in the middle of our infield right now. Adames is starting there, and he's being moved in this deal. How has he been in the? He has been actually very good at second. Interesting. But anyway, he won't be good at second for us anymore. Mitch Hangier is also moving in this deal. I talked about him a bit earlier. I don't really have a place for him anymore, and I don't love what he's doing for us. I think Pilar is probably a better option there. But those two aren't really the big losses in this. It's first of all Kevin Jackson, our 6th round pick as of last year. He was probably one of my favorite picks, and he has turned in quite the performance getting his holding on to his 4-star potential. He has absolutely world-class speed. He gets on base. He will be a threat for a long time to come. But that long time is in a long time, and we are contending now. And Yoan Moncada is going to help us win a championship this year and in the years coming. We are also moving on from Ethan Hankins, the first draft pick we made in this series. After performing well in rookie ball, he hasn't quite gotten it figured out in high A, And although he's only 20 and he has plenty of time to figure it out, I I'm not too excited to be around it. I'm more excited to have Yoan Moncada. And Connor Pilkington was the capper on this deal. The 30th pick from the Dodgers in 2018 was included in that trade where we gave up Madison Bumgarner. We finally, this is us pretty much just cashing in on our prospects. We, through the years, or through the last 2 years, have acquired, these small names, these guys that seemed useless, seemed, minuscule, and then they end up combining to make a deal like this where we get Yoan Moncada. These guys were just extra throw-ins I found out that I could toss in. Bernardo Flores has been playing well in AAA, so maybe he can help us. I don't know. Maybe down the line. We might need some AAA pitching after you see the next deal. John Kilchowski, another guy who's just playing average. He's an average lefty playing in AAA right now. He's only 26 years old. You know, just worth a shot. He's not costing us anything, so we are going to pull this massive blockbuster deal. I think it's the right move to make. I think it's time that we cash in on a superstar, and that superstar plays a position of need. So I think it all works out for us. So we get a personal message. I'm sure the fans are going to be excited of the acquisition. Now, for the second trade, also a blockbuster, a superstar that is more so well known as a star in the league today in Anthony Rizzo. I saw he was kind of available. He's working on a pretty team-friendly deal where he has a team option at the end of this year. I can't say whether we're going to pull that or not, but first base has been inconsistent for us. Although Shaw is good, Shaw is a guy I think I'd rather have coming off the bench and pitch hit roles. And even if he's not, he's been consistent. But Anthony Rizzo is just a stalwart. He's going to be we know putting him in what he's going to be able to give us at first every day. So I think this move makes a lot more sense for us. And then I truthfully think we're going to make this move and we're just going to straight up platoon Will Smith and Buster Posey. And maybe not platoon them, but just alternate them every day. There's really no reason to play Posey over Smith at this point. And maybe Posey can play better if he's not playing every day. I think this gives our lineup a little more depth, makes it a little more well-structured all the way around, gives us a little more firepower off the bench as well. We're losing Tanner Houck, who hasn't been able to figure it out at any level we put him at. We've kind of forced him to each level, and I'm not really confident in his ratings. I'm not confident in him, but if the Cubs want a chance on him, they can take him. And Andrew Suarez, who I think he's just a benefit of us having so many pitchers. I think he's a solid pitcher. I think he's, he can go into a lineup. He can go into a rotation and he can hang around in it, but by no means do we need that on the roster right now. They're not going to give us any money. It's me nitpicking again. So, yeah, we're going to pull this. And those are probably the only two deals I'm going to do. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Goodbye. Hey guys, so I had to cut back in. I thought I was going to start simulating. Looked at my lineup. I kind of realized I didn't like how many backup. Like, I had a lot of production coming from guys who weren't going to be playing, like Ryder Jones. So I figured I could package some guys together and maybe make a deal. And this is what we came to. We're getting Jake Lamb from the rebuilding Arizona Diamondbacks, coming. He's in the midst of a 3.2 win season, and he's a really good player. Chris Taylor, I like him, but I'm not gonna want to pay him his arbitration next season, so I'm very willing to give him up. Ryder Jones doesn't really have a role in this lineup, and it obviously gets replaced by Lamb. He has shown that he can't really be an everyday player. And then we're losing Luis Brian Lopez, who I didn't draft. Our scouting director drafted in the 13th round. Not a bad player. He's been playing well in single A at 20 years old, and could be pretty good. Definitely looks to be a good fielder, but I don't think he's going to be a superstar by any means. So I think this deal makes a lot of sense. It took a lot of work actually, pretty proud of this contract or this deal. We also get this guy, this middle infielder is playing really well in AAA. I think he could be a major leaguer. He's only 23. But yeah, we're eating 80% of Chris Taylor's contract, which is fine by me. I mean, he's a really good player, but it's only 1 year, so anything to make the money work. And yeah, I'm willing to do this. I just I don't know. I don't think we're really losing much, and getting Jake Lamb is going to be huge for us, especially in the playoffs. Anyway, that is going to conclude this video. I will see you guys in the next one.